What is up, Niner faithful? How are we feeling? It's Friday night. Thank God it's Friday. What a week! What a long week! What an eventful day today. My kitchen sink overflowed this morning. It's not been a fun day. Anyways, how we doing? We're gonna do a call-in show. Let me start a little countdown so everybody can hop in. The link is there. Hop in the show. Let's talk, Niner gang. What is going on, Niner fans? It's Friday night. How are we feeling? A little call-in show before the weekend. Deb, Jimmy Perez, Enrique Lucero says, "What's up? Happy Friday." Jordan says the division just keeps easier and easier. Bye bye, Buddha. Yeah, you know what, Jordan? Today, Buddha Baker, Arizona Cardinals safety, he requested a trade, and that's great if you're a 49ers fan because guess what? The division is getting weaker by the day as the 49ers are just making themselves better and better as the offseason rolls along. Free agency, the draft coming up. So, yeah, I'm excited that Buddha Baker is going to get traded from the Cardinals. Probably go somewhere to the AFC, and that makes the Cardinals weaker. I saw someone tweet. Ooh, let me see this. I think it was my sports update. This is the Cardinals situation. Let's stop here and think about the Cardinals situation. Look at this. The Cardinals' current reality. You got Kyler Murray recovering from an ACL. Buddha Baker, he requested a trade. DeAndre Hopkins likely gone. He might get traded. J.J. Watt was retired. Zach Allen, he left in free agency. Byron Murphy, he left in free agency. Zach Ertz, recovering from a torn ACL. Plus, their owner was recently accused of cheating, discrimination, and harassment. It's got to be bad to be the Arizona Cardinals. We got a guest coming on. Let's go. Stream. What's up? How are we doing? What's your name? Where are we from? How are we doing tonight?
Oh, can you see me?
Yeah, I could hear you, but I can't see you.
Can you see me now?
No, I can't see you, but we can hear you loud and clear.
Oh. What the hell is that my phone? Well, I'm here from San Antonio, Raj. I talked to you a couple last year. We had a talk about the playoffs and all that before Brock got injured. I'm sorry, I don't know why my camera is not working, but I'm at work right now. I'm in the guardhouse. I'm working right now. It's securing the west gate.
Oh, nice. You're a busy guy out there working. So what's on your mind? On Friday night, you know, the Niners, obviously Trey Lance, he's been working with Mahomes. Today, Brock Purdy talked to the media, and he says he's going to be there Monday for, you know, the start of the offseason program. Obviously, he's not going to be thrown, but he just wants to be around the players. What's your vibe going into the season? And we just talked about how the Arizona Cardinals are falling apart, man. What's your vibe on the season?
Man, the Cardinals, they need to demolish that whole organization. I feel bad for Smitty, but at least he got his sons in the playoffs.
They might not last too long, but you're right. If you're a fan of Arizona sports, it's not a good time. You know, we've had our dark days, but oh man, that's ruthless for the Cardinals, man.
My camera can't be on. It sucks that my camera can't be on.
Oh, it looks like he was so mad at his camera, so he left. But again, tonight's a call-in show. It's a call-in show, so if you guys want to hop on the live. If you can't show your face, it's all good. But you can talk to me. You can show your face. Whatever you got to do. The let me put the StreamYard link back in the show. So that's the StreamYard link for the show. If you guys want to hop in, that is the link to type in, and you can tap in and talk with me. So we got another guest coming in. Oh, I think he fixed it. I think he fixed his camera. What's up, my man?
Hey, well, man. You see me, I'm
now
working.
you got the camera fit. He's got the uniform. He's working. I don't know if you're really working, but we won't tell your boss.
This is what I do.
That's good, man. Look at this
That's
guy.
what I do.
Okay.
I sell air conditioning units for big buildings.
Oh man, there we go. Big old. Those are big units. Yeah.
Yeah. What man, I believe the 49ers low key are trying to get rid of Trey Lance.
You think so? See, that's a lot of people have been saying that. Speak on it. Let me know. You got again. I'm gonna give everybody 5 minutes.
I heard a rumor about Kyle. Something about what's that guy? Mayoko.
Matt Mayoko. Mm-hmm.
He talked to Kyle under, and he's kind of said like he was Trey wasn't really his main decision, but it was as an organization decision, not Kyle Shanahan decision. That's what Marioko said off the record.
Okay. I mean, I could believe that. I honestly think that Kyle maybe that wasn't 100% his guy because he did bounce between Mac Jones and Trey Lance, and I think Trey Lance was a John Lynch guy, but the organization came together and they make decisions. I still think he's not going to get traded because to me, it'd be crazy to trade him. They traded up so much to get him. He's out there working his ass off. And again, there's a question mark with Brock Purdy. Will Brock Purdy be back 100%? I don't know. But I don't know. So you think because Matt Miyoko is saying that, so if the 49ers trade him, what do you think happens with Trey Lance? Let me know what you think about 49ers.
Because when did you have ever see Kyle Shanahan talk to Trey like he did that picture on Brock when they sit down in the locker room? That was a memorable picture. You know, that brings back to Bill Walsh and Joe Montana.
I know.
Kyle likes this kid. And it's like, I believe I believe end of the day, Trey's not going to get a fair chance.
I hope he does because that is.
And I hope he does get it because, you don't want to go back to Kaepernick issue and going back to, all life matter. It's not going to look good for the organization. But if Trey comes out this season and just balls out, you can't say he's not the starting quarterback.
I mean, he's got an opportunity right now, and I think that's what the fan base is thinking. He's going to go in there, training camp, dominate, crush everybody. Hopefully, win the
Raj, you think I can hop up hop back up in a little bit?
Yeah, you got a job to do, my man.
Yeah, I got a job to do, so I'm gonna hit you back up.
Okay, my man, he got to secure. He's gonna get fired over here because.
All right, bye.
Take care, my man. That's the best security officer in the world, my boy. Let's see if y'all want to hop in the video. You can come in. You're live TV. You know you're on live TV. So if you got a job right now, your boss is gonna see this. So make sure that you ain't gonna get fired from your job to hop into the live stream. If you guys want to talk again, Friday night call-in show, the link is there. Hop in. We'll discuss some things. So he brings up an interesting topic. Will the 49ers trade Trey Lance? I don't think so. I know a lot of people are talking about it and this and that, and maybe Kyle doesn't love, Trey this much as he likes Brock, and that's a good point because he does respect Brock because of what he did last year, and it was an amazing season. They won games, and it was like, wow, this guy could win games with this roster, but it is such a wild card in Brock Purdy right now because we don't know if he's going to be back 100%, but he did update us today. He did say that he's recovering well. Everything's going as expected. You love to hear that kind of stuff. You love to hear Brock Purdy saying that he has no setbacks. He's, making good impact in terms of becoming healthier and things like that. So, and just the fact that he's going to be there he's going to be there on Monday to be around with the team. It tells you everything. Like Brock Purdy, he's hungry. He knows he can't throw, but he wants to be with the team. He wants to continue to strengthen his relationship and his chemistry and the bond with the players. So it's going to be good to have Brock Purdy back in the locker room because, again, he knows Trey Lance. He's got this opportunity. At the end of the day, behind the scenes, he doesn't want Trey to take over his job. If Trey Lance is out there and he's building all this chemistry with players, they might forget about Brock. They're gonna forget about Brock. Brock wants to make sure they don't forget about him. He's got to keep himself, acclimated with the team, study the film, stick around the players, shoot the high fives and all that, and ask everybody how their off season's been. He knows he's got to sweet talk the players too, because Trey Lance is going to be there doing the same thing. And, it's cool to see. One thing that Brock said was that he texted, that him and Trey Lance text each other. They're cool. They know that they got a job to do, and there's no ill will, So I feel like they have a really good relationship. Again, they're going to tell us that, but I feel it's genuine. They feel like they're really good friends. That's a good thing to have. At the end of the day, I think both of them know they want the best for this team. They both want to win games, and they've said it. So my man Slatty says, Brock who? I don't know if you forget about him. He's good. We can't. I like them both, but I do want to see Trey Lance get a fair chance. Get your umbrellas ready. 5 storms is coming, says Peter Parker. My man Tommy Huxley drops Buda Baker to the Niners. Could you imagine? Could you imagine Buda Baker to the Niners? It's not going to happen. They're not going to trade him into the division. They're not going to trade. They're not going to trade Buda Baker to the NFC West team. That'd be crazy if they did. There's absolutely no way, because it's going to be a trade. A couple mid-round picks, maybe. I don't know. What is Buda Baker's his worth? What is his worth? What does Buda Baker offer? What should you offer him in a trade? He's getting older. He's been a good player, but Buda Baker's not Buda Baker of 2-3 years ago. Let me take a look at Buda Baker here. He's getting up there in age, and he's got a pretty decent contract. He's 27. Okay, he's still pretty young, actually. I thought he was. For some reason, I thought Buda Baker was a little older. He's 27. He's still prime years. Buda is a dog, man. I agree with you guys. Baker is a dog. 27 years old. That's actually not bad. That's not bad at all. Here we go. We got him back. He's back. Let's go.
Woo! I got to check that load out before I get fired.
He got the hard hat now.
I had the car. No, there's a mandatory thing they're having in the facility.
Okay. Well, so before you left earlier, you said something. You said you think that they're going to trade Trey Lance, and they really like Brock Purdy, and they don't support Trey. So if they trade him, where do you think he's going?
It's going to our minions. Minions. They can go. I can see it. Rumors were in the combine. During the combine, there were a lot of rumors. A lot of the Tennessee Titans.
Mm.
And now rumors are starting to come up about the Texans. So those are the 2 places that we're gonna have to keep an eye on before the season. And Trey, he's gonna play. Trust me and believe, he's gonna play. But we're gonna see the deadline, the trade deadline. That's where, if the Niners trade that guy, they ain't about him.
Well, obviously, yeah. If they trade him, then they never were about him. But I don't know. I don't think they trade him right now. I think they got to hold on to it because, again, we don't know if Brock Purdy's going to be back by week 1. And I think if Trey comes into training camp and goes crazy, they'll be in a good place with this team. This roster is just amazing. It's just amazing.
What do you think about the offensive line, the right end, the right tackle?
I mean, I'm a little worried about Colton.
Are you okay with McKivens?
I'm not okay with it, but I mean, I think he's a cheap option. And again, if he pans out, if he does good, then it's a dub. But I am a little worried about that spot because
I'm worried about that too, because if Brock comes back, he has an elbow injury.
Yeah, you don't want
him to if that right side cannot hold on for at least 2 minutes, we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest wild cards on this team. Is that right?
But I'm very proud of Trey, him going out and looking for help with Patrick Mahomes. Like, he's trying to show everybody, like, hey, I'm a kid. Give me a chance. And like, you give this Brock Purdy a chance. Just give me the chance too to go out there and play. But at the end of the day, I feel like Kyle is gonna give him a chance, but that's not gonna give him the Brock Purdy offense.
Maybe that's the big question. A lot of people have been saying, and one thing I said, and I talked to Smitty the other night. We broke this down, and we both said, look, if Trey Lance is gonna get the golden opportunity, you got to give him a fair chance. You have to give him the same playbook, the same opportunities as you gave Brock Purdy. The one thing that I think is the wild card too is CMC. Trey Lance never played with CMC. Brock Purdy has.
I mean, I'm excited for this season. CMC, a whole year fresh.
I know. He's
Let's
been training
go.
like crazy. I know.
Man, CMC, I can't believe we got that guy.
I still wake up every day going, I'm in shock. I mean, the guy's amazing. You saw his post yesterday. The guy's doing a box jump, 58-inch box jump. I was like, this is crazy to me. That guy's a super athlete. But man, yeah, he's a beast.
And remember what they were telling him about how he can't stay healthy. He's not the Bill Cow of an offense. This he was out there for vengeance.
Yeah.
CMC was out there for vengeance, and he was pissed when he didn't get elected to the Pro Bowl.
Oh, he's mad, man. He's going to take this stuff personally. He's coming into this offseason with a mission to be just better than ever. And again, you're right. Training a whole season and getting to play with the 49ers for a whole season. I mean, he played after, mid-season acquisition, and he was just piling up yards after yards. It was a crazy season that he had with 49ers. He didn't even play the whole year. So can you imagine what he's going to do in a full season with the 49ers?
Did you hear about the local radio in Arizona talking about what Brock Purdy said on the radio? About he had unfinished business with Philadelphia to take care of.
Oh, I like that. I think this whole team probably feels like that. I feel like this whole team is ready to kick Philadelphia in the teeth, man. I can't wait to play them.
Man, that game was sickening. I was sick. I got sick for real after that game.
Me too. I'm still sick. I hate when people bring it up, man.
I just feel bad for those guys out there. They were playing with no quarterback. Like there was no hope.
That's got to be a crappy feeling, like you go out there, your quarterback's down, and then your backup quarterback goes down. It's just like, there's nothing you could do. There's nothing you could do, man. That sucks.
Hey, well, you know what? Smitty is happy. The Jimmy Garoppolo era is over.
Yeah, it is. We'll see. We get to meet him again in a couple of months in joint practices. I hope that Fred Warner has about 5 picks on him.
So, what are you looking on for this season? Who do you think we're gonna draft with the first pick? With our first pick,
take an edge. I think they're gonna take a tackle, and I think they're gonna take a tight end. Those are their first 3 picks.
You think we're gonna trade up or down?
If we trade, we might trade up a little bit, but we might take a few. We might trade up a few spots. I don't think we're gonna make a big splashy trade, but we got 11 picks. I think we'll end up with 7. I think they'll move from like a couple of 6th rounders to get up to the 5th round, a couple of 5th rounders to get up to the 4th round, something like that. Yeah. So we'll see. Last question. What do you think the 49ers are going to draft with their first pick?
I think it has to be a right tackle,
okay,
or edge.
Edge, you're right.
Edge. Those are the main 2 things that we need. Because honestly, last year, I went yesterday and looked at the whole season. Nick Bosa was gassed out by the end of the season. He was out of it. Yeah, he was out of it. But this time, I see I see him on his Twitter thing. He's working out. But I feel like he needs some help. I feel like of course we got Hargrave. That's his name, Hargrave?
Yeah, Hargrave. He's a monster.
Yeah, we got Hargrave. Hargrave is going to be the new DJ Jones.
I think so too. I think he's going to be a monster. I think he's going to be better though, because DJ was so good against the run. I feel like Hargrave's going to be just blitzing up the middle. He's going to get a lot of sacks. I think he can get 10 sacks with the Niners.
And you're going to have to double coverage Hargrave. Yeah. And if you double coverage that, you got Eric Armstead and you got Bosa to the right. But I just hope Drake Jackson really becomes the man that we thought he can be.
Yeah, that's a guy that has to step up this year. It's gonna be a lot of pressure because you're right. Bosa can't do everything on his own. We love Armstead, we love Hargrave. They're gonna be eating it up in the middle and getting a lot of pressure in the run game. But someone on the other side has to step up. And I hope it's Drake, but I hope they do take an edge that can come in and help. But I don't expect an edge from the draft to be at a crazy
But that Michigan player, that edge player from Michigan, man, he's a beast.
Yeah, there's a lot of good edge rushers.
But that's too high in of the pick. That's like I think the first round.
Yeah. We're not
nowhere near close to that one. But that one would have been good. But yeah, the main courses of the draft will be an edge or a right tackle. Those
Yeah.
are the two needs that we need. Corner. I'm sad that Mosey didn't come back, but I know it's all about business.
Yeah.
Um, I'm glad that would love to see JV come back, but he's he's cooked.
I'm
He's
pretty sure he's gonna retire this in the next week or so. That's my prediction.
You think so?
Yeah, per a source.
Per source?
Yeah, per source. He's
Per
probably.
source, or is that's your per source?
I can't say what I know, but I'm pretty sure.
I got you, Raj. I got you. I respect you. But yeah, that's all I got to say.
All right, my man. Appreciate you for hopping in. Don't get fired, man. I don't want you staying on all day on me, but
Making easy money here in Texas.
I see that, and Texas is cheap. I need to be doing what you're doing, man.
Shit, $19 an hour, you can't beat it.
That's not bad for just sitting there and
sitting there and just take out write down the number or the unit, the truck, and the license plate. That's it.
Good. And that kind of money in Texas, it's pretty decent living over there.
It's decent, no taxes.
I know it's 13% tax in California. That's why I work like 40 jobs.
Me and my girl, we just purchased a house last year.
Wow.
With a pool and a 3-car garage under 200,000.
Got a house with a pool and 3-car garage. Look at this. Go to Texas, everybody. Go move to Texas.
It came out to like 232.
Wow, that's bad. That's whoo.
Is on a 3-acre property.
Jesus, you're making me feel bad every second. I'm out here 3K apartment, and you know what? My sink overflowed today. That is.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Damn.
It was a disaster. I was like, oh fuck, dude. Landlord, I had to hit the landlord up. It was a long morning.
Did they ruin your floors?
Yeah, so I got I had to turn the humidifiers because they fixed the floors and everything, but it's like soaking wet.
Yeah, so yeah. Is it wooden floors?
Wooden, and then there's carpet.
Oh, but you need to put like something a fan. You don't want to get that carpet
like
to mold up.
It's a humidifier. I had to turn them off so I can go live. Otherwise, you'd be here for that. Yeah.
But all right, Raj, I'll let you go and have another guest come in.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Next Friday, every Friday we do a live call-in show. So maybe not next Friday. It's my birthday, so I don't know.
Shit. Hey, are you going to go to Vegas?
I'll probably be there eventually, yeah, but not next
for the preseason.
Yeah, I'll be there.
I know you're gonna be there. You got family there.
Yeah, my family lives there, so I'll pull up.
All right, Raj. Keep safe.
Appreciate you, man. Take care.
All right, bye.
Yeah. Look at that, man. I need to move to Texas. I have a lot of family in Texas. Look at that. No tax. Man's making $19 an hour. He's got a house, 3-car garage, and a pool. Living life. I'm over here making a lot more than that, but I can pay $3,000 a month for rent. It's crazy. California, it's a wild time over here. But yeah, we got a call-in show, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys want to hop in and talk, hit the link, drop in. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid. Hop in the show. Let's talk about the Niners. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you guys think about the 49ers. Some other news today. Kerry Hyder re-signed with the 49ers. I love that move. I love Kerry Hyder. I think he's a solid depth player. He could play in. He could play out. He's a rotational guy. It's not like he's going to go out there and get you 30 sacks, but he's a very good professional player. He knows this 49ers system, and he's done his best work with Chris Kasurek. So I love the move. I think it was a great hire or a great re-signing. And again, the 49ers are filling their roster. They're getting their depth pieces taken care of. And this is a guy that could come in. He can do anything on the 49ers D-line. You know, a few years ago when Nick Bosa had his torn ACL, Kerry Hyder was your leading pass rusher. He was going out there and killing the game. So, the 49ers definitely have to get their roster filled up to 90 players. So they have 24 roster spots left. So they're continuing to build up the roster, and they got the draft coming up. But it's nice to have these veterans. They had about $3 million in cap space coming in today. This contract probably is about $1 million, $1.5 million. They don't have the specific details, but from everything I've heard, it's about $1 million, $1.5 million. I think Lombardi posted something about it. Let me see. So yeah, Lombardi says Kerry Hyder is the 66th rostered player. You have 24 spots left. Most of them will be filled on draft weekend. And he says Kerry Hyder is basically, what did he say? I think he did put a number on there. So they have $3 million in cap space. Kerry Hyder played for $1.5 million last season, a little bit over the vet minimum, with $750 guaranteed. So it's probably going to be around the same amount. Probably going to be a $750,000 guaranteed. So I think I said 750K guaranteed. Sorry. So it's not even going to take up most of the cap space. It's a very cheap contract. It can be about $1 million with incentives. So pretty cheap contract there for Kerry Hyder, a guy that could come in and be a very solid rotational player for the 49ers. So Slatty says, did I get a contract to be the boombox guy? I can't tell you. I know who the boombox guy is going to be, but you'll find out very soon. I can't tell you everything. It's not going to be a surprise, but you'll find out about the boombox guy. But if you guys want to hop in, call-in show, please call in. Please hit that button and hop in. Talk some guests. Peter Parker, Randy, anybody, hop in. Talk Niners. I know you guys want to talk Niners. Hop in. Give me your takes. Trey Lance, Kerry Hyder, Brock Purdy. What do you guys got to say? Let's take a look at some of these comments. See if you had any questions while I was talking. Let's see. Tank Dell. Slatty likes Tank Dell. That's a good receiver. I wouldn't mind taking him in the draft. Jordan says, I'm going to miss Omenahu so much. Yeah, I liked Omenahu. I think he's going to be very good for the Chiefs. I think he was coming into his own. He's very, was he 24, 25? He was just kind of hitting his peak in the NFL. I feel the 49ers really helped him develop. I think he'll be good with the Kansas City Chiefs. I liked Omenahu. I think he was a really solid rotational player on this line. He could play inside. He could play outside. So, yeah, definitely going to feel his presence missed. But, again, the 49ers are so good at developing defensive linemen. You have a guy like Austin Bryant who could reach his potential with Chris Kasurek, and Clelin Ferrell, another guy that could kind of come in and reach his potential with Chris Kasurek. Two guys that really haven't had the craziest, greatest careers. But with Chris Kasurek at the helm, I feel like he might turn them into something more than they ever were. Arden Key, very similar, right? So, again, we're going to lose Omenahu, but I do feel like we've made a good amount of depth players that could step up because we got a great defensive line coach, but then you got to hit the draft too. So Rob says the 49ers have developed so many players for other teams. It's true. Absolutely have developed players like crazy for other teams. It's amazing how the 49ers just sit here and develop players from other teams for other teams. It's just a development team. Like they develop so many players, and not only that, front office members, they've developed coaches. 49ers, man, that's a pipeline for everybody. I mean, look at all the coaches in the NFL now. You got D'Amico Ryans, he's a head coach. Robert Saleh's a head coach, and Mike McDaniel, head coach. They were all part of the 49ers coaching staff. It's amazing. My man, hey, Peter Parker says he just got his daughter's Trey Lance jersey. Yo, show it. Let's see what it is. Let's see what it is, man. Trey Lance jersey. He's got the Trey Lance jersey over there. I got my Trey Lance jersey. I love Trey Lance jersey. Hope we can wear it this year. I might have to go get a Brock Purdy jersey just in case. So I might have them both. But yeah, that's good to have a. I hope they play him. I hope they don't trade him because those Trey Lance jerseys they're not gonna be too happy. People that have a Trey Lance jersey aren't gonna be happy. That's one thing. 49ers, they've had some trades. They've lost some players here and there. That's why it's hard sometimes to buy a player's jersey in the, nowadays, because with free agency, it's like your favorite players leave and you're like, damn it, man. Like Jimmy Ward. I wanted to go buy a Jimmy Ward jersey, and now he's not on the team. I wanted to rock that, man. That number one. I mean, I can still buy it, but it's going to be weird if he's not on the team, So I tend to buy retro jerseys, throwbacks a lot now, like the older players and stuff. You can go buy a Ronnie Lott jersey. He's not going to go anywhere because he's already retired. So Slatty says, hopefully they bring back the black jerseys. I like those black jerseys. Not a lot of people did like those jerseys. Miguel says he's coming down to California. Let me know. We'll see. I'm a busy guy, but if I got time, we'll definitely link up. come out to a game, man. It's always good times to meet up with the Niner fans during the games. Peter says, do you think Lynch replaces Parag, I think, and they promote Adam Peters to GM? It's a good question. So let's talk about this. Adam Peters, right? The other day there was rumors. Oh, rumors. We love rumors that Adam Peters could go to Houston if they lose Nick Caserio, and they would reach out to Adam Peters. I mean, I would too. If I'm a team and I need a GM, I would look for Adam Peters because he's probably the top choice among front office members in the NFL, right? So then the other question is Parag Marathe. We all know today there was some news that he is going to become the primary owner of Leeds United, a Premier League soccer team. And now, if he becomes the primary owner, how much involvement is he going to have with the team? How much is he going to have to spend there? Although I've known about this Parag thing for a while. It's not official. They haven't closed the deal, but the 49ers, they have stake in Leeds United, but they want a complete buyout of Leeds United. And if they do, they're going to appoint Parag Marat as the primary owner. So he's going to be like the Jed York. He's going to be like the Jed York of Leeds United. So he's going to be very busy doing that. But I'm pretty sure he could still figure out a way to be the the president of the 49ers and the owner of Leeds United. The guy's a worker. He's a dog. He's a hustler, man. And my friend that knows him, basically, he even commented on the post, like, don't worry, he won't quit his day job. Parag is a hard-working individual, man. He's got that dog in him. But it would be tough if we lose Parag because he's the contract negotiating wizard, the wizard. So then it begs the question of, okay, let's say Parag does kind of leave and focuses on being that owner of Leeds, right? And then he doesn't really have time to be the president. Maybe John Lynch could become the president, and then boom, you can make Adam Peters the GM, and then you can go hire someone else to be your assistant GM. But I don't think that even happens anytime soon. This whole Leeds United thing is going to take some time. And again, I feel like the 49ers are going to make sure they try to figure out how to win a Super Bowl first. I feel like once they win a Super Bowl, then a lot of these changes will take place in front office and people will chase what they got to chase. I don't see anything happen anytime soon. I think this year everything's going to be fine and static, and there's not going to be much change around the front office. But I could definitely see if Parag takes a huge role with Leeds, maybe someone like Adam Peters does kind of transition, and then John Lynch transitions too. His goal is to win a Super Bowl. So we got someone coming on the stream. What's up, my man?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. What's up?
Nothing much. How about you?
Not much, man. A busy day, but I'm here. We talk about Niners, a little call-in show, and what you got? What you got on your mind?
Oh man, I guess just what everybody else is talking about, the quarterback thing. To me, I feel like I think it could go either way. I really just hope they give Trey Lance an opportunity to show what he's made of at least, so if he's had any improvements, and not pull the plug, in case Brock is hurt or comes back healthy, and let Trey go out there and kind of show us what he has. I mean, if he's not good, then obviously you can pull him out. But I just want the franchise to finally make the right choice at quarterback and not rush anything. So I just hope the way it plays out works out for us.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that's the biggest take that I've had too. And like my biggest thing is I just want Trey to get a fair chance. Give him the same playbook he gave Brock. Give him the same opportunities because it wouldn't be fair, right? Again, and there's one thing I mentioned earlier is 49ers have CMC. We haven't seen Trey Lance with CMC. He didn't get a lot of opportunities with Kittle. And I mean, just plain and simply, he hasn't got a lot of opportunities. Unfortunately, the injury came last year. So I'm on the same boat, man. I wouldn't want to trade him. I know there's a lot of people saying that they think they will. They should trade him, this and that. What do you think? Do you think it'd be a mistake if the 49ers trade Trey Lance?
I mean, to me, I feel like it would. I mean, you just look at Trey. I mean, he's bigger, he's faster, he's stronger than, a guy like Brock, but he's just unproven. And even if he, isn't exactly what the 49ers wanted, he still has a lot that you can mold him into, like he's still very young, very raw. And I feel like he could be shaped into what Kyle wants, but it's if that's what Kyle wants.
Yeah, I think a lot of this does have to deal with what Kyle wants because it's his offense, his scheme, his system. So that's a big thing right there. I see Young Montana in the comments. He says it's a big mistake right now when Brock isn't even ready, and I think that's a big truth because obviously there's a lot of uncertainty with Brock Purdy. I know he spoke to the media today and basically said that yeah, he's on pace to be ready and this and that, but you still don't know. There's still an unknown if he's going to be 100% once he starts throwing. How's his elbow going to react to being thrown? So I think it'd be crazy to trade Trey, especially with what you gave to get him. And he seems hungry, man. Training with Mahomes. I like what I've seen out of him. I don't know. What do you feel about that?
Man, I think that if he could go in there and absorb, what Mahomes is doing, because they're like almost the same kind of player. They're not
They have
those guys
traits.
that. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, yeah, they got similar traits. They're both the athletic type quarterback.
Yeah, and they're not those, typical Kyle Shanahan quarterbacks, the one read, get the ball out quickly. They're more of those improvisers. They're more like off schedule play guys that can, make big plays with their legs, extend plays and then, hit that deep ball when coverage breaks down.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
that's not really what Kyle wants. He wants a guy that's going to get the ball where he wants the ball to go, and that's more Brock Purdy, of course.
Yeah, Brock Purdy, he can make that quick read. I mean, he can improvise. He was a lot more mobile than I expected him to be. I mean, there were some times I'm like, well, look at Brock run. But you're right. I think Kyle wants one of those guys. He wants that quick read because they got the yak guys, right? You give it to the Debos, you give it to the Kittles, CMC, you give them 5-10 yard pass, they're going to take it 20, 30, 40 yards. So you're right. Like, they're not looking to stretch the field with a deep pass, but Trey Lance has that ability. He could stretch it on a deep pass. He could stretch it with his legs if he needs to. So he's a little different than the guys they traditionally have. You're right with that. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this competition shakes up, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as long as these guys go out there and prove themselves. If one doesn't, then the other guy should take his place. It's that simple.
I agree, man. Whoever look at the end of the day, we need the best man that's gonna get us wins. That's what we need. We need to win games, and I don't care who's in. I mean, if it's Trey, it's Trey. If it's Brock, it's Brock. Let it be. But I want them to have a fair chance and let the best player for this team go out there because we want to win the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah, I mean, oh my goodness. We come close every time and then it's just like heartbreak and then
Uh,
heartbreak again. It's like
every
it's
time,
it's painful.
it's very painful seeing this team. And again, it's been a long time since they won a Super Bowl, man. I just want to see them win another one. I'd be cool with one in the next 10, 12 years. I mean, I'd be nice to have more. If they win one in 10 years, I'll be happy.
Yeah, especially after the moves they made this year, they went pretty much all out. So
Yeah.
right now it's Super Bowl or bust. I mean, yeah, I guess it's been like that the last couple of years, but this year there's definitely a bigger emphasis
No, 100%.
on it
Yeah. I mean,
because there's
yeah.
a lot of money going to these guys. You
Yeah.
know.
Look at this roster, man. It's so stacked. There's so much talent. You got, like, again, Trent, Kittle, Ayuk, and Bosa, and Warner. A lot of money between those guys. And they're not going to be at their prime forever. So it's tough, man. But they've brought in some players like CMC and Hargrave, man. That tells me that they want to go out there and win the Super Bowl now, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and I think the defense is definitely going to be the reason that they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think that they've relied on the defense more than the offense, pretty much the whole time, which is kind of strange since we've hired an offensive, minded coach, and our defense has always been better. But I guess as long as they both can play up to the same level, which they don't seem to do a lot throughout the season, it's either one or the other. If they could just find that right balance, I mean, no one's going to be able to stop them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This defense is just nasty, absolutely nasty, and I think they're going to carry him again, especially with uncertainty at the quarterback. But CMC really changed this offense, and that's what I said earlier. Is if we can get CMC to play with Trey, we don't know what this offense could be. Maybe it might be even better. But I feel like the offense has been. It slowly became a little bit better last year, especially once CMC came in there. But man, oh man, at the end of the day, this defense they're going to carry them like they usually do. Because this again, Bosa coming off a defensive player of the year, Warner and Armstead, he's going to benefit from Hargrave. I'm just excited to see what this team can do now that they're I'm sure they're sick and tired of losing. We're sick and tired of them losing, so I can only imagine how they feel.
Yeah, and I mean it's not like they're getting outplayed most of these games. It's the injuries every year. It's the same story, you know.
Yeah.
What could have been if this guy was healthy or this guy was in and this guy wasn't hurt?
Yeah.
It's always been the same story. I feel like health is key. I don't know what they got to do, but they got to figure something out because it's just abnormal the amount of injuries that pile up for guys on our team.
Yeah, it's always been a struggle staying healthy. And I got John in here. He says if you have no quarterback, then the coach is extremely limited. And I agree. Like as great as our defense is, and again, NFC Championship game came, our team was loaded. They had all those great players, but you didn't have a damn quarterback. So like, well, here we go again. Same old story in different years. So I agree. Absolutely agree. So
Yeah, I got a question for you. You think CMC could get 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards this season?
whoo, double 1K. I honestly with this team. I think he can. I mean, you saw what he put up some nasty stats with the 49ers. A full season? I think so. Although it will be tough because they got so many weapons. I think he could, but he's not just the only focal point on this offense. So it could be tough to do both. I think he'll get 1,000 of one of them, but to do it both, man, that's a lot. Because again, you do have Ayuk's coming in this year to go out and get a big time contract. You got Debo, he's got a lot of people he's got to prove in their mind that hey man, last year was a fluke for me. So Debo is going to get his touches, and last year he didn't play a lot of games. So I feel that's going to take some carries away. And then you got Kittle out there who's a monster. So I think it's possible because we haven't seen what Kittle could do, or sorry, CMC in a full season, and what he did in partial season was amazing. But then again, seeing Debo was hurt for some games, so I think it's possible, but I don't think he's going to do it because you got too many great weapons on this team. It's just this team's stacked on offense.
Yeah, yeah, I agree for sure.
Yeah,
I just want to, see everybody get the ball. I think that a lot of the times, guys don't get the ball enough, like Kittle
yeah,
or even Debo and Ayuk, where they only get 2 or 3 receptions a
yeah.
game, and it's
But
like,
even Kyle Juszczyk, man, the guy should be used at least twice a game. The guy sometimes doesn't get used twice in a month.
yeah, yeah, he's a monster. I think he scored what? Did he score twice in the Super Bowl?
Dude, that guy just when he gets the ball, good things happen to him. So yeah, I want to see Kyle Juszczyk get the ball more. And you're right, Kittle. Sometimes they forget they have Kittle. I'm like, bro, throw the ball to this guy. And then Debo, it's like these guys get lost in the shuffle. But CMC, man, that guy was consistently getting the ball. So again, because he consistently gets the ball, I feel like it is possible that he can get thousand and thousand. That would be crazy if he did it. Oh my god, man.
Yeah, yeah,
He's,
that's a lot of carries, a
that's
lot of touches.
wear and tear. I hope they don't do that to him because I want him to stay, healthy through the season and have a good, strong playoff push. I mean, it would be amazing. But look at what happened to Nick Bosa, man. That guy just was so tired in the playoffs. I don't want CMC to be tired in the playoffs. Pace him out. Hopefully Elijah Mitchell could stay healthy. If not, Jordan Mason could come in and these other running backs. The 49ers always have a lot of running backs. So um, it would be a cool story, but I don't know how much he would be able to do in the playoffs. Although you've seen the videos and the workouts that CMC is doing, man. The guy is a freaking monster, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that Eli Mitchell CMC duo. I think if Eli Mitchell can stay healthy, man, you're gonna have to watch out because he's an explosive back as well. I mean, he can hit the hole and go. He's
Uh,
physical, he's tough. He just can't stay healthy, unfortunately. But I
yeah.
mean, if he could stay healthy with both of those guys, I mean, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They could be unstoppable as well.
That's a nasty duo. But the problem, like you said, Mitchell has to. I just hope he can stay healthy. That's another guy that has had injury problems. The guy's a stud, man, but he can't stay healthy. But again, yeah, if they can have Mitchell and CMC both healthy together, whew, it's gonna be scary hours for the league. Last question: who do you think the 49ers are taking in the draft next in a couple weeks? Who are their first 2 or 3 picks? What do you think?
Oh geez. I haven't really done much, tuning into the draft and stuff, and they're not picking to the third round.
Yeah,
I think whoever's the best available player, they should just take that with the first pick.
yeah,
And
best play.
then maybe grab, yeah, probably a offensive tackle, someone that could be like an insurance policy in case not Brunskill. What's his name? McKivitz doesn't
Colton
pan
McKivitz.
out, and they could just have some options. But yeah, I'm not too sure. I haven't done too much looking into the draft.
Yeah, we got 2 weeks. Go ahead and start brushing up on your skills because we about to figure out who the hell they're drafting.
Yeah, I'll just wait for that breaking news post on Instagram from RSF 49ers.
No doubt, my man. Anyways, hey, I appreciate you. I'm going to see if I get 2 more people on here before I bounce. Miami and the Bulls are having a hell of a game. I don't know if you're watching this, but this game it's crazy. Jimmy Buckets, man.
Oh,
But
yeah,
yeah,
I tune into that.
yeah, appreciate you, my man.
All right.
Hop in every
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate you.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. We got another caller. Appreciate you for patiently waiting, man. How you doing today?
Man, I'm feeling super califragilisticexpialidocious. Just I'm on a roll right now. How about yourself? How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Well, it's been a busy day, busy week, but I'm good now that I'm home talking Niner football.
It's a good busy. It's a good busy though, right?
Sometimes it's a good busy, but sometimes it's not a good busy. But yeah, today was in between.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I'm a lot of times like us as like 49ers fans or just kind of just NorCal fans, right? We sometimes get a little lost in the trees with what's going on with our quarterback situation. But I can't stop and help and sometimes think about how lucky we are to be in the conundrum that we are with our quarterback situation. Because I really do. I look at the Bucks. The Bucks, they don't know what they're going to do with their quarterback situation. The Colts wish that they had somebody like Purdy or a Lance or hell, maybe even a Darnold. The Vikings, the rumor is that, and I don't expect us to trade for Kirk Cousins because remember, they've had this man playing on the franchise tag for so much. Talking to people of your ilk, right? People who stream and cover the 49ers, talking to the same type of people who cover the Vikings. What I'm getting from them is that it sounds like Kirk Cousins is going to be allowed to walk after this year. I mean, there's only so many times that attrition where you can just keep paying this guy X amount of dollars, and then all these other quarterbacks are getting this fully guaranteed money, averaging like 50 million. All of a sudden that where maybe where you could franchise tag him for like 30 something million, that's no longer out of the window. And we kind of saw that in some of the moves that they were making. And so when I look at it, I kind of go, even with the Raiders, Jimmy Garoppolo gets injured. Who do they have outside of that? Right. So I go like, it sucks not having the ideal guy, but if you're going to platoon the quarterback position, the best place where you could possibly do that at is in the NFC.
Yeah.
And the other thing too that I really think about too is a lot of fans are like, I really want Trey Lance to get an opportunity. I hope that Trey Lance gets an opportunity. Some of the Brock Purdy fans are like, Brock Purdy won this job. This is his job. So what I do want to say is this. It's in the best interest of the team for longevity because Brock's contract does not actually count against the salary cap. Could you imagine having a starting caliber quarterback and their salary doesn't count against your salary at all? That is ridiculous because on game day, you start your top 46 guys, but his salary is not going to count against that. And so when I look at Trey Lance, right? Trey Lance, because he's a third overall pick, he's going to have chances. Now, what Kyle Shanahan said was he does not outright get the job just because he's a third round pick. Yeah. But what went deaf on a lot of people's ears was that it didn't mean that he wasn't going to get his chances. And this is what I kind of wanted to say. Equality of opportunity, not equality of outcomes. And that was kind of my dad was in Vietnam. I'm in the Army right now. That was something that my dad always told me, like equality of opportunities, regardless of how you're born, where you're born, right? This is America, but it doesn't mean equality of outcomes. So Lance is going to have to fight tooth and nail. He's going to get his chance or a shot, just like Sam Darnold has been bounced around from team to team to team to team, and he's still getting a shot because he was a third overall pick. Fans, if you're fans of Trey Lance, he's going to get those shots. But I do want to say this. Brock Purdy, though, when you look at it, who had the most touchdowns as a rookie quarterback last year?
Yeah, Brock Purdy.
And in only 5 games. Now, I was somebody who was I'm going to put myself out there. I didn't think that Brock Purdy would make the team. After the Miami Dolphins game, his depth of average of target was lower and very shallow, less than that of Jimmy Garoppolo. But at the end of the day, we're talking about equality of outcomes. And he started to improve. Now, towards the end of the year, he did kind of regress. I think some of it was due to information overload. And he was all of a sudden going to his 5th read option instead of his 1st read option. Against the Eagles, a lot of people say that was Kyle Shanahan's fault. But against the Eagles, if Brock Purdy would have had 5 years of playing conventional National Football League football, he would have known that if a team is coming after me and they've had over 70 sacks in a season, I probably have like 2 seconds to get rid of the ball.
Yeah.
I need to ship it, right? Stamp it, get it out there. So I think it's on everybody. Trey Lance, you need to protect yourself. You need to slide. Everybody on the sideline was screaming, slide.
Yeah.
Get your 2 or 3 yards, slide, get down. Brock Purdy, your ability is getting the ball out quickly. If it's not there, throw it away.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to protect yourself. The other thing, too, that I want to mention is that Trey Lance is going to have to, and I want to preface this. I love Trey Lance's ceiling, but I need his floor to be better.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. We haven't, and again, it's been limited, but we still need to see a better floor because what we saw right now is like, nah. But again, it's just the opportunity. He hasn't had much injuries, but before that, there was injuries before last year too. So I agree with that. And not only that, but Brock Purdy, I agree. He came in and he exceeded what people thought about him. And like you said, nobody expected him to even make this roster. And the fact that he made it was the first big W. It was like he proved himself. He went out there. He had to compete last year, and he proved himself at that point. So again, I agree with what you're saying. Is Trey Lance? He's got this golden opportunity to go out there and prove himself. And if he can out muscle Sam Darnold in training camp and prove that he can win games, that's what's going to help him go further and above and beyond. So no, I agree with that point. It's a good point.
I'm really excited about the possibility of DTR, or the guy who I really want is I think his name is like Duggar from TCU.
From TCU, yeah.
Yeah, I think, look, as soon as, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint the headlines right now. As soon as one of those guys gets drafted, because it makes for a better storyline, makes for better clickbait. Shout out to Kruger. But I did bet Kruger. I said, hey, look, if Trey Lance is traded, because he said Trey Lance will be traded by the NFL draft.
Yeah.
I said, tell you what, if Trey Lance is traded by the NFL draft, I'll give you $1,000. If Trey Lance isn't traded by the NFL draft, I get your channel. So one of those two things. But a bold claim is sometimes gonna get a counterpunch move. And so now he's kind of on the back pedal. And no shot at Kruger. I think it would have been better if he would have said something like, hey, by the trade deadline or something like that. Then it'd be like, yeah, possibly, because if he's flailing and failing, and then you've got these other people here, then it's time to trade him, because we're gonna hit that crux of the midway point. But really, if whatever quarterback that we trade or draft in the 3rd, 5th, 6th, 7th round or undrafted, that's Sam Darnold's competition, right? If we're saying that Brock Purdy has won over the locker room, so locker room is underneath Brock Purdy, which I do believe that Brock Purdy does deserve and has earned that starting position. Again, I'm more Trey Lance than Brock Purdy, but unequivocally, it's unbelievable that in 5 games he threw more touchdowns than any other rookie quarterback last season. And if he would have played 3 more games, would have been the rookie of the year with less than half a season. Sometimes we just have to accept facts for what they are. And I'm so insanely pro Trey Lance, it doesn't make any sense, but I'm not oblivious or going to blind myself to the facts. I don't see Sam Darnold honestly really making this roster. I'm really hoping a lot for Trey Lance. And what I really like about this quarterback room is that they're all good guys. You haven't heard any of these guys being snakes, being rats. They really care and look out for one another. I just want them to be the best, regardless of what flag I'm planting in my front lawn. Because at the end of the day, this behind me, that's the most important vision that we'll have, right? Like, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to be in the clouds, right? I feel like a meteorologist. I'm not going to be in the clouds. I'd rather be in the sun, right? There's joy right over here, sadness over there. I'm going to be on this side of the bridge, right? So walk with me, right? Like, and that's the side that I'm going to be on. And the other thing too, when I look at when I was knocking Brock Purdy for his depth of target, what was fascinating was his completion percentage. Even though the depth of target was low, his completion percentage was absolutely uncanny. When we're talking about 5 to 6 yards, was unbelievable. Sam Darnold, and we all talk about, oh, he's got a bigger arm, better arm than Brock Purdy. But his depth of target, when he was doing such a good job with the Carolina Panthers, which, by the way, I would encourage anybody to go to. They have open mics with the Carolina Panthers podcast, just like here. Go on there and ask them questions about Sam Darnold. But his depth of target was the same 5 to 6 yards, but his pick percentage was like worse than Jimmy Garoppolo's. It was absolutely insane. What's going on? Look at this man. He's probably pumping out 2 or 3 articles right now while still kind of holding down this interview.
He's going like this. He's the multi-tat. This is my boy Rohan, man. Rohan's a G, man. Certified G. What's up, man? I figured I'd bring you in, add some discussion, but
yeah,
absolutely right. You know what? Yeah, I mean, first off, you're like the voice of reason. I think everybody's really happy with your takes and stuff, but if you take Larry Kruger's channel,
wait, hold up. Is that Gammon?
It is.
Gammon?
Yeah, that's him. That's
yes,
the
sir.
Man. Yeah.
He got a whole suit on.
I know.
I do.
Man.
Well, I mean, you're in the locker room, so I mean, you know what I mean? Help me out.
Oh man.
Let me get that 50.
Hey, it's good to see you on though. I mean, first of all, I gotta give a shout out to Gammon, man. He always tuning in on the streams. He always giving them the support. Appreciate you for real, my guy.
Can I say this? I've been a longtime lurker of your content. You write like so many amazing articles, and when I started trying to write my own articles, I really kind of was using the way that you kind of wrote, which I thought was just absolutely incredible. But the thing was I'd go back and I would spend like a week writing my like one article, and I'd see how quickly you'd pump ones out, and I'd go back and I'd look through for mine for accuracy, and I'd go back and look at yours, and like the one that you'd write one, then another one 24 hours. I was like, he writes an article with more accuracy and just like grammar, everything, punctuality, way better than I did in like an entire week. And I was just like, how in the hell is this guy even human? Like, what is going on? You know what I mean?
Kid.
It's insane.
Rohan's the whiz kid. He's the Parag Marat of 49ers content creator. That's what you're the whiz kid. Don't leave Leeds United, my man.
Yeah.
Speaking of Parag, did you see the news?
Yeah, I knew the news actually for a while. I saw the news.
I know you knew. You knew.
Because my boy Moose is like his best friend. They like, so actually real quick, I can tell the story now. So my boy Moose that knows Parag and the whole team and everything. So
is it actually going to happen though? Like, would he actually go through with it?
I was told this in October that they were working on this, and Parag will become the primary owner. He's going to be like the Jed York of Leeds United. Now, the other thing is my boy Moose, who lives in Vegas, he's got his own, big jobs. He runs a bunch of, he's like a marketing director for a bunch of clubs out there. Parag reached out to him. Was like, I need you to be my guy when we go to Leeds. So he's going to move Moose out to Leeds United, to England, across the country with his family. He's like, I need you to be my guy, to like be basically the VP or whatever. He's in a creative position for the CEO or whatever. So he's got a decision to make once this all happens. But it's going to take some time. But yeah, that's big news to me. Parag, man, he's the contract wizard. And now, how much involvement is he going to have when he leaves us? He's not going to leave, but when he takes over that team, because they do have a stake right now with with leads, right? But they're going to buy it out completely. And right now, they're kind of not a good team. So they're have to put in a lot of work to make them get back into the Premier League if they get booted out this year.
So I'm going to say something controversial. I think that Prague, and he's been doing this for 2 decades, and there's something to be said about that, especially with a level that he's been at. But I've kind of had a feeling that his subordinates have gotten near to the same level that he has. And especially with the technology that's out there, right? Like when we're talking about like 20 years ago, what kind of technology did you have in like 2003, 2004? If you were an Excel whiz, that's great. But now things have moved up to Google Docs. AI has been introduced. There's a lot of things that could really kind of catch up there with that. Rohan, for you, I use Word Hero to kind of help with some of my headlines and that sort of thing for some of my articles. But when I look at some of the way that some of the contracts have been constructed and done, and then also too in a timely manner, I feel like he's been just a tick off. And also too, I think it's because of some of this. And I think we all know that this soccer stuff has been going on for a couple of years, and he's had his eye, I think, on that. And now that it's gotten a little bit closer there, it is pretty interesting. So, but again, controversially, I still think he's top 5 in the league. But I think it's one of those things is like a puncher. He's kind of lost a slight step. And changing the guard may not be the worst thing when we're talking about in a few years, there'll be a new CBA that comes out as well. I totally changed. And I think that what the players are going to be fighting for, advocating for, and I think it's going to be a very, very long, strung out off season is going to be the guaranteed money. One of my biggest things, I feel like the 49ers should be giving Nick Bosa a 7-year contract, but I think his camp is smart enough not to accept that because that's something that would go over into the new CBA. Rohan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think any player in today's world is ever going to accept a 7-year contract anymore, just because of the way the CBA works. Not only that, but just because even without a CBA, the cap increases every year. And also, when you look at the structure of these contracts, 7-year deals are never 7-year deals. The reason that team players don't want to do a 7-year deal is it's not a good look if you are looking to demand a trade 3 years into a 7-year deal when you have 4 years left on your contract. But the reason you do it is when you have a 7-year deal, it's not 7 years they're going to be guaranteed. The first 3 years will be fully guaranteed.
Yes.
And then you'll have 4 years of non-guaranteed money. And so the player, for example, Buda Baker recently got an extension 2 years ago. But 2 years into his deal, he's requesting a trade. There are still 2 years left on his contract. 50% is left on his contract. But he's requesting a trade because none of that 50% of the money that's remaining is guaranteed. He wants now to be the highest paid safety in the league, understanding that the contract that he has right now has no guarantees toward him. That's the way the NFL works now, and that's why I don't think 7-year deals work. I think Nick Bosa probably gets a 5-year deal, maybe a 4-year deal. It seems like a 5-year deal might be in the works, which essentially ties him in for 6 years with the 49ers because remember, when you accept the 5th-year option, so 5th-year option is $17 million. And so whatever the extension is, let's say 145, gets add on to that 117. So it would be a total of 162.
Key word there is what you just said, Rohan, is extension.
Correct.
Not a new contract, an extension, right? So when we say contract, you end a contract and then you start a new contract. When Rohan said extension, when he said a 5-year extension, that's extension. So that gets added on, that built onto the current contract. So what a lot of people have problems with is understanding the difference between an extension and a contract, right? So that's kind of that big thing right there. But I didn't mean to steal your thunder, Rohan, but if you want to.
Yeah. And one other thing that I'll say, I know a lot of people are saying players are sick of Parag. I don't think that that's necessarily the case. Players are, you hear more about Parag because he's the person that's the money guy. But understand that the organization itself is responsible also for the contract kind of part of the deals. And if you're worried about the 49ers, the one thing I'll say is this isn't a 49ers only thing of quote unquote lowballing teams. This is an NFL related thing. Every team, when it comes to a contract negotiation, you don't ever see teams initially agree. That's why it's tough also for teams to agree to deals like this Bosa deal, or like previous extensions that we've had with Fred Warner or George Kittle early on, because not only do you not agree on your first try, the player also wants to see how does the market materialize, understanding that there's likely somebody else you're competing with. For George Kittle, it was Kelsey. For Fred Warner, it was Shaq Leonard. Understanding that somebody else is competing with, which means that as time goes along, the market materializes more and the cap materializes more. Understanding that you might have a better, you have a better understanding of where you are and what you can demand. And so, to me, that's what I'll say. I don't necessarily think it's a 49ers only thing when it comes to cap and when it comes to potential lowball offers. It's just the way, in my opinion, that the NFL works.
Right. And I'm going to say this. Bosa doesn't want the 5-year extension. 5-year extension. So when Rohan was talking about making into basically an extrapolated 6-year deal, which would be pretty close to the 7-year deal that I was kind of talking about, Bosa doesn't want the 5-year. Bosa and his camp doesn't want the 5-year extension. They want the 4-year extension, right? Because then in 3 years, he can start to negotiate for another contract. Even with Mahomes' 10-year deal, it really is a 3-year deal, and then every single year it's whatever it is, right? So because his deal can end in March, not like what we had with Jimmy Garoppolo in June. So the parties can kind of break out of that 10-year contract. So it's not necessarily structured that way. Also, too, someone said Bosa is likely $34 million a year. I hate to burst everyone's bubble here. I predicted that Bosa would get $38.5 million. I'm probably taking a sizable Larry Krueger bite of the apple, and I'll be wrong here. But it's not going to be any less than $36 million.
Yeah, I think
if you think, I have some fans, and I'm seeing them saying 32, 30, 31. Folks, he's getting minimum $36 million a year, because exactly what Rohan said. There's a new television marketing deal. Amazon's getting into it. All kinds of other. YouTube is now paying into it. So this was the highest that we've seen the cap go up in years. Remember, last year or during the COVID years, the cap actually went down. Now it's starting to go up by like 25, 30 million a year. And it's projected to keep doing that over the next 5 years. Bosa is not going to sit here and just go like, well, if the cap goes up, and you have to remember the cap right now, what's the cap number right now? What's it at?
His current 17.2.
No, I'm sorry, not his cap hit, but the NFL team like cap hit.
224.
224. Now, what was it like 10 years ago?
I mean, you don't even need to do 10.
Yeah,
COVID year was 182.
It was probably like the 100 something million, right? So in the next 5 years, this cap rise is going to go up more than it did in the last like 20 years when we're looking at it. So again, you have to know that when Bosa and his team and his brother didn't ask for anything less. He didn't ask for a discount or anything else. He's going to come into these aggressive. He learned from his brother. He's going to get top dollar. The other thing too is, remember, the 49ers seem to be at the most awkward times when it comes down to players playing at their best position at the best time at the wrong time for the cap hit. Kittle was trying to negotiate his contract so that way it could reset the market for all tight ends, right? All these people, Bosa's agent represents other defensive ends and different agents too, right? On the defensive line, and probably some of these draft picks. They're going to try and make sure that, just like with Trent Williams and everybody else, and the 49ers have a track history of really making sure that these guys feel respected. Richard Sherman was great in saying, it's not just pay, it's respect. And how much do you respect me? So Bosa is going to be coming in here, is why I said $38.5 million, because he wants to go ahead and reset that defensive end market. And you could see it like in a balloon type loan where there's a lot of money on that back end for that. If you look at Mahomes' pay, right? How much money did he actually, what was his cap hit this year? Anybody in the chat? I know someone's going to say 50 million, but it wasn't. Somebody's going to say 40 million, but it wasn't. Someone's going to say 30 million, but it wasn't. Someone's going to say 20 million. I don't believe that it was. I think it was 17 million. I could be dreadfully wrong. Maybe it's 25 million, but it was far less than what Aaron Rodgers is getting this year. So when I'm saying this is, for me, I would try to give him that 7-year contract, that 6-year extension, just because then you could balloon it out. But once the cap gets that sizable, then we could do it.
I think it's possible that he makes that much, but maybe not this year. I still think that we're a little bit away because that's close to $40 million annually for a player.
But Raj, the one thing about that is, to be honest, the one thing that I've said, I don't care what the annual year is, because that's not at all what the contract will end up being.
Yeah.
Right.
Understanding the numbers that matter, guaranteed at signing, total guarantees somewhat matters, but it's mainly guaranteed at signing bonus, and total guarantees that shape up the overall cap hits, because the likelihood of a guy like Bosa, his contract getting redone by the time that his contract's over, or sorry, before his contract ends up being over, is very high. I mean, understanding that when the way that teams inflate these deals, for example, Tyreek Hill, 4-year, $120 million deal. In reality, it's a 3-year, $75 million deal. And the last year, if you go look at that cap hit, it's about 55 to 60 million. He's not going to see that money, though. They're going to redo that deal.
He's going to retire before he even sees that money.
Yeah. So, because none of that money is guaranteed, right? So that's the way that they do these deals. That's why, I mean, if Gavin says 38.5, it could be 38.5. I don't think that it goes to 38.5. I mean, I like the logic. I do like the logic. I don't think that it goes that high, just because I don't think that
if they do a 6-year extension,
okay. I mean, yeah, maybe if they do a 6-year, I don't envision a 6-year, which is why I won't say 38 million. I could see probably a cap of around 35, somewhere around that. But regardless of what that number is, I truly don't think it matters, because really the AAV is only used to inflate the end of the contract where there's no guaranteed money. So the player will likely request, even though the cap hit is high at those years, the player will likely request some restructure of the deal to include more guaranteed money, which then again lowers the cap hits and kind of essentially results in a new deal.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think you're right. I think if they can make it up to a 6-year deal, which the 49ers would want to, like I said, back in that contract, that's ideal situation, similar to like Trent Williams' situation. But at the end of the day, Bosa's going to get paid. But one thing you said, Gammon, that I agree with, it's going to be a long, crazy, intense, kind of aggressive negotiation. I think you're right with Bosa. He learned a lot from his brother, and I think he's going to take those tactics and negotiation into this. So it's not going to just end up like all easy. You know, it's going to be a long out, drawn out battle, because I think he did learn a lot from his brother. Those brothers, they're smart. The Bosa family, they know what they're doing.
That's true. And Gammon, before you go, Roger, I do got to say I got to head on out, but appreciate both of you. Gammon, it's cool to see you for the first time in person. As I said earlier, appreciate your support. And guys in the chat, as always, appreciate your support.
Rohan, I have to hit you up on I got to hit you up on Twitter, because I wasn't lying or being facetious or talking out of my ass, if I will. I actually really do look up to you and your work. I think you've seen me kind of saying this over like a year with even like super chat comments, but you are a fucking monster, dude. Like, it makes no goddamn sense. I don't think a lot of people really respect what it is that you put into it until people start to try to write a 5,000, 8,000 word article themselves. But I would like to reach out to you on Twitter, and that's about it. I would just like to pick your mind, like, honestly, like, just life, if I could. But
no, definitely. And I mean, I try pretty much, even if it's in the other inbox, I normally try and get to pretty much every Twitter conversation. I like to chat with people in general, and so definitely. And I mean, appreciate the kind compliment, for real.
Well, appreciate your hard work, brother.
Rohan,
hey, have a good night, Raj.
Appreciate you, man. You know you're always welcome. I hope you're doing good out there in Wisconsin. And when you come back to the Bay, man, hit me up. You coming down for training camp?
I should be there. Should be there in July. Yeah. So yeah, no, I'll definitely hit you up as always.
Yeah. I'll see you in a couple months, man. Take care. Keep killing the game. You're always on fire, Rohan. We love you, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
Salute.
All right. Any final thoughts you got to say here? He always coming in with great content and great delivery, and always have good insight. So the fans loved it tonight. You, me, Rohan, we got a little bit of a little show here today. That was good, man. So this was fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see. I think that Trey Lance and Brock Purdy use CMC in a completely different manner. What's interesting is that Trey Lance was on pace to get 918 yards for the season rushing before he went down an injury. A lot of times, a lot of people say Brandon Ayuk, he's a 1,200, 1,300 yard receiver. And I'm like, well, Deebo Samuel got 1,500 yards receiving and then another like 600 yards rushing. Or I could be off on that. I don't know. But, you have to sometimes like combine those two. Also, too, I think the defense or the offense looks different with Trey Lance than it does with Brock Purdy. I'm not saying either or. I'm not playing a flag saying either or is better. But with Brock Purdy, I think that he runs a 2-minute offense better than Trey Lance. This is my last spiel of the day. Brock Purdy unequivocally runs a 2-minute offense better than Trey Lance. He's a little bit faster decision-making, faster release.
Mm-hmm.
The experience definitely shows on tape. The reason why you have Trey Lance in there is because of something that Bill Walsh really liked. And what Bill Walsh really liked, and the reason why he eventually was going towards a guy like Steve Young, was because he wanted to run what was called a 4-minute offense.
Mm-hmm.
And the 4-minute offense is where you use all the clock to deny the opposition an offensive opportunity.
Yeah.
But again, we're coming at two different angles, right? 2-minute offense, we're thinking like you're down by a score, you need to get on there, you're down by 3, get a touchdown, win the game, or something like that. Whereas with Trey Lance, you really kind of look at that Chicago game before everything went to shit as far as weather-wise and everything else.
Yeah.
And he was just getting first down after first down. You might score a little bit less, but you
were
take all the arrows.
And you were keeping the defense off the. No, and I agree with that because I know it wasn't because people remember it for the loss and he made some mistakes. But if you watch certain spurts of that game, they were just moving the chains. It was like a 10 yards here, 9 yards here. It was like 6 yards. Like that's what they were doing. And you're keeping the other team off the field. And maybe if you're, a player that, still needs development, that's good because you're getting more reps. You're learning as you go. So yeah. I don't think I think it was a very efficient offense.
Right. And very last thing, everyone who had something nice to say to me tonight really means a lot because I started coming on to people's shows about 2 years ago and it's still on YouTube history. So if I'm lying, I'm frying and dying. But I looked absolutely terrible because my anxiety really prevents me from. It's hard to get a clear thought in when somebody says something and then think and then still stay on topic. It's a lot harder than it looks. I'm actually right now, I am sweating. It's hard. And I really appreciate you, Raj, for allowing me to babble and not letting me slip or dive and just being there to kind of rescue me when I kind of got a little bit low. And thank you for everybody for being positive. And I'm going to take my leave. Thank you.
Real quick before you go, we appreciate you. You're always welcome. You do a great job. I didn't notice you were stressed, but it can be tough, when you're speaking of.
It's hard.
You're sweating. I could now you telling me, but you got the suit. The suit's very hot, but no, it's not easy to stay on task, read the comments, answer a question, and then have to go back. So it's tough. People make it look easier than it really is. So I appreciate you for coming in.
John V, call in. You need to call in next week, John V.
Salute your courage, and I appreciate you for all the support and everything. So we love you, man, and keep rocking those suits, man. I need to get one. That's nice. You looking fresh. I'm a little jealous. You
can't be jealous.
You came in on a suit. I'm over here wearing my thermal that I just was in work today, and you're looking fresh.
I just wish you were wearing that black and red hat, that cap that you got behind you. Oh, if you would have been sporting that with that t-shirt. Woo!
That would have been the drip. Yeah.
Oh, cold, brother. All right, man. Have a good one.
Suit next time, my man.
For sure. All right, later.
Yeah. Thanks for your service. Also, by the way, man, this is a good call-in show. Appreciate you guys. I need to get some food in this belly. I'm gonna take my daughter. We're gonna go get some pizza. Shout out to the faithful. Shout out to the comments. Love you guys. The support. My man says you can pick up a nice suit at Burlington for less than 100. Oh, I already know. My family, listen, I don't need to go anywhere for a suit. My family is in the fashion industry. My cousins, my uncles, they all got stores, and I can call my uncle right now. But yo, I need a Versace suit. You got me? Okay, my boy. So Burlington has great suits, but so does my family. So I'll just have to hit up my family. I got plenty of suits. So the fashion game, we good. I was supposed to go into that field when I was younger, but it wasn't for me. When my dad was alive, him and my uncle ran a big men's clothing store in the Fashion Show Mall in Vegas, called the Melwanis, all that good stuff. But we had suits and designer clothes, and now my cousin, he has his own designer clothing store somewhere out in LA. So yeah, no, fashion's in the blood. That would have been easy for me. I could have been running a suit shop, but that's just not what I wanted to do. I was in the medical field. I wanted to go into the medical field. So, yeah, I'll call my uncle up if I need a suit. But Burlington does have suits under $100. So if you are balling on a budget and you need to go get a suit, my man Young Montana's right. Go and get you a suit at Burlington. They got some decent ones. They got some pretty good ones. So, appreciate y'all. Have a good night. I need to go get some food. I'm hungry. I love y'all. Take care. Go Niners.